another early game focused game plan here if they're going to win this one.
The hometown heroes of BDS, but PSG Talon, they have a couple of faithfuls there in the crowd of Law Park in Seoul, Korea. It comes down to this one last game. This is your final draft. You live it or you lump it, because right now nothing else matters. Both these teams have left everything under the rift. Now it comes down to this. One Nexus explodes, one team goes to Swiss.
One spot available, the last team to promote into the main stage of Worlds and to keep their dreams alive for at least another week or so. And for these two regions, a lot on the line, like you already said, for the first time, if the 4C can make it in after what has been a bit of a curse for them, and for the PCS to get any representative in, as BDS has already taken out the number 2 seed in CFO and now coming for the number 1 seed if they can pull this off. You got a BDS fighting chant in there?
We do, man. I was there, like LPL swum back into me. It was like the Gyos and everything.
Yeah,
it was like,
awesome. They're rallying, man. They
give them a bit
fans.
of, yeah, absolutely. But let's see how it works. PSG versus BDS, 2-2 on the day. One team each getting a stomp, I think it's fair to say. Game 2 for PSG, Game 4 for BDS. Two semi-close games in 1 and 3. Now,
so if it's going reverse,
yeah,
right. So Game 3 is the midpoint, right? That's the really crazy one.
That's the crazy.
One game stepped away from that was one team smashing the other, which means Game 1 from the flip side would be a very, very slow and boring BDS win. I don't want that. I'm fine with the BDS win part.
The math checks out, and that's why I'm mad.
The BDS win part, totally fine with.
Yeah.
If we get 2 kills through 20 minutes again, I'm a sad boy.
Yeah, I mean, you've got scaling. I definitely think when you have a Jarvan on the team of PSG, you are looking to be a lot more aggressive, and especially as well on the other side of this, the Adam Darius is something that I will expect to be a little bit more proactive in the first few minutes of the game.
And this time around, no tricky business out of BDS. We talk about their level 1s quite a bit, or Sheo doing some stuff on his first clear. Looking like a pretty standard bot to top clear for both, or excuse me, top to bot clear for both these junglers, trying to end up around their 80 carries. You can see, like we said, early on, the green gun advantage, giving them some strength in this lane, trying to delay taking these creeps as long as they can, so it doesn't push, and give Crownie some easier CS. Nice brush control as well from Woody.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this area finding it so difficult to just walk forward there, just because Woody and Wako are controlling this so well. Level 2 will be hit now in just a second or 2. And that's going to basically mean that this entire wave is going to be going underneath the tower pretty frequently for the side of BDS. They're going to have to try and figure out how they're going to be able to stem the bleeding already in the early stages of this game, but
we'll have to see how crazy PSG wants to get. You can always have one of these slow-built waves. If Maple can get unlocked, roam down there for a 4-man level 3 dive, who knows? Probably not going to be the case, though.
Level 2, can't pull away, but Labrov already burning through quite a few of its pots, so he needs to be a bit careful with how aggressive he wants to be going into this one here. And this is the thing as well, is that you don't want to lose too much of this underneath the turret, especially when you're against Wako, who's already picked up that coal, so he's stacking that one up very nicely very early.
Good call, already understanding I'm going to control this lane. I'm here to farm up and get to my items quickly. Already half a turret plate gone off that push, and Sheo actually skipping the camps.
He's just going to jump in on top of that one there. They're trying to use a minion delivery system as Woody should be able to remount. Sheo actually went in onto a minion to move away from that because I just didn't feel confident with the Jarvan coming in on the backside.
Interesting re-engage by Woody there. Jarvan was further away than you would have thought, but with that control, actually, the fact that Sheo skipped camp means that JunJia finished his red buff and appears healthy enough now to contest this with the shove that they already have. Sheo's going to have a hard time controlling this, but fortunately, Nuc has the push on the mid wave.
Oh, they're looking for Woody. Puts him in behind the wall, though, and they have to get the flash out. You can see JunJia getting himself away from this one here. Sheo, though, with the gravitum available for Wako, gets 2 down. The Ignite goes in. Has no real mana left. His auto attacks are good, and Crownie knows if he gets any CC on top of him, he was dead, so he has to flash back over the wall.
Maple with a more defensive path, being that he needed to cover the escape instead of charging into the river, stops that chase down sequence there. A little bit slower to collapse on that play. If he was able to help cut them off as they ran into that blue buff pit, could have gone a lot worse for BDS. Still a gold advantage because Crownie had to sack some minions to start going aggressive there. And overall for PSG, a decent start to the game despite feeling like maybe a kill or 2 left on the table.
While that's all happening, the top laners trying to figure out whether or not they can go aggressive. The wave in a pretty terrible state there for Azhi. These Hemorrhage stacks are starting to build up quite quickly, and this is the power of the Darius. One or two small movements, and all of a sudden he's looking fantastic, but now he's walking straight in on top of the Jarvan, pops the Ghost, does not get away from the first CC, but does get away from the second. Now looking for a little bit of a trade back. 1v2. Adam looking to be his namesake for the moment. The Ghost still popping down. He's doing very well. Flash forward into the apprehend. Does not get the bounce back for Azhi. He moves away from the Jarvan. I think that was key.
I think you can feel the nerves on both these teams here. Azhi missing his Q and then his W in that sequence is absolutely a kill onto Adam if they land it. And then afterwards, not quite sure where they wanted to go from BDS. Azhi's hop out does mean at the end of this, to the summoner advantage, he did not have to burn anything in that sequence. And so while it should have been a kill yet again, instead it's just small advantages in the early game for PSG.
Nerves, the pressure, if you will.
Your whole year on the line.
Your literal entire season rests on this one game of 5v5. It is sometimes a little too much to bear.
Sometimes we all go through promotion matches and you feel the stress of needing to win that 5th game. Imagine that if your whole career in life was built on that. A little bit, just try and put it in perspective.
It's so difficult to know. And again, it comes down to how these teams are able to deal with that pressure. If you can get that play to work on either side, you get an advantage. You start putting even more pressure onto your opponent. Versus now, where it does feel like, again, no one's coming out with an advantage, but it's very, very shaky for now.
Yeah, I think you expect from the draft for PSG to be winning the early game, and so these gold leads are largely what you would think would happen. I think the biggest thing is the fact that none of these kills have really accelerated any of the lanes beyond what you would expect. And so PSG going to start this Dragon out playing off their bot lane prio, and Talia now at 6, though with no mana, will probably teleport back into the lane, have the ability to join in on any fights that happen around the map.
Sheo's going to walk over and check if this is being done. Doesn't have a smite, by the way. Used it on the Gromp, so maybe they want to go for a little bit of engage. A TP comes in back from both mid laners. Maple and Nuc now moving back down towards this dragon. It's the first dragon of the game, and we know how much BDS love their dragons. There is the Weaver's Wall coming straight out. They're going to try and jump in, but a knockback from onto Woody means that he goes down, but it's a first blood. Dragon stolen by BDS as we got the resets coming in maybe for Nuc, as Wako has to flash away straight away as he realizes he can't take this fight. Neither can JunJia as he looks to try and trade it back, but Nuc gets himself a double, and BDS trade 2 for 1, and they get the dragon.
Huge contest out of BDS there on the dragon. A little bit of face check by Crownie.
Yeah, he's going to be able to dash himself over. Good cleanse. Definitely would have preferred not to use it, but small little window there for PSG. They almost capitalized.
Yeah, but that is such a bad consolation prize there after Sheo again on top of the smites was getting taken advantage of by JunJia. A little bit in game 1 and game 2, but after that has been dominant with these, never really losing any critical objectives. And then the fight afterwards, I mean, Nuc in a great position on the Tristana here. Able to just hit closest target and make sure to knock Woody back so he does not ever get stunned up. That explosive shot also landed a ton of damage onto Wako as he finished off Woody there. And now it's just an easy chase down the rest of the way for the team.
It just feels like after the Weaver's Wall, the Maple Talia was not really in a position to put out damage, wasn't throwing out rocks at a rate to kind of settle herself and get that damage out, so it really just was an unfavorable position here for PSG. They do, however, get themselves back in towards that mid lane to try and put pressure here onto Nuc, who did pick up a plate or so for himself, but I mean, we could see another fight now as the Rift Herald has already spawned, and they know this is happening on the side of BDS.
Looks like Crownie is skirting down onto the bot lane there, riding the wall as far as he can go, and giving this one away. Not in a position to contest this after the slightly slower reset. Death timer, sometimes a quicker path back onto the map than a recall after that dragon fight. So PSG do use their top pressure a little bit with the Nara as well to grab that one.
See what PSG can do with it, because this is the thing I always say about Rift Heralds. It's not that you get it, it's how you use it afterwards, especially an early one, because it can lead to a huge advantage in one of these lanes. And right now, Sheo, with level 6, would be very, very good at deterring any kind of dive here onto Adam, who does not have his flash just yet, does have Ghost. Maybe Sheo and Adam might want to go for something a little crazy, but Azhi just backs away.
I think they're just waiting to cover this wave collection by Adam. Good decision, given that the Rift Trail just went down. I think PSG were also thinking the same thing. If anything is looking suspect here, maybe we can make the play, but that's not the case. And like you said, it's about how you use the Rift Herald. I feel like this series, we've seen a lot of Rift Heralds not get optimal value, kind of dropped as they time out, or they charge a turret that there's no one else there to help push afterwards. And so it has been a very scrappy series, honestly, outside that first game where there's been a lot of fighting. and it's sometimes hard to find the correct usage of this. So it'd be nice, I assume, if you want to get this either onto Wako to accelerate your primary carry or onto Azhi to get the side lane going in your favor.
And for the moment, JunJia is down in the bot lane, or bot side of the map, I should say, as he waits to try and just maybe find a Cataclysm target. Very hard to lock down things like a Tristana, Zeri. They can just dash their ways out with the mobility they have in their kit, so they're not really in any kind of danger for the moment, but PSG look like they want to try and maybe put down the pressure here in mid lane. I do like this as well, especially with the first Herald. If you know you're not going to get a full tower, at least get that mid lane tower low so you can actually try and take it on the second Herald.
Yeah, especially with a Taliyah, it's always nice to break out your global if you can make it happen. And definitely the case, actually, when you talk about the champions that JunJia is going to be jumping on top of, most of them are pretty unperturbed by it. Of course, if you are jumping onto Darius, you know, he can't get out, but then you're trapped in a pit with Darius, and I'm not sure that's where you want to be using your J4 ult.
Yeah, not ideal target selection, but Maple maybe just going to throw a walk over the wall. That's going to stop Labrov from getting a reset in. So, 11 minutes are just shy of it. 500 gold lead for BDS. Yeah, we're going to be able to set up for this dragon in a minute's time. It is a dragon, means, or it's an infernal dragon, which means we are not going to have an infernal soul or a mountain soul, so not going to be the highest of priorities, I imagine. Let's Tex.
I'm smelling another Chemtech.
You smelling the Chemtech?
Yeah, it smells bad. It smells smoggy.
Not clear cloud air, no?
No. From Los Angeles, man.
Yeah,
I'm used to that smell.
You came to Dublin and you were just like, what is this? Fresh air? Get out of here.
Grass? Disgusting.
Yeah.
Where's my concrete jungle?
Yeah, where's the 20, 30 buildings that block out the sun? But coming back into it. I mean, we'll see what they want to go for right now, because it does look like for the moment PSG are on a bit of a reset. They can look to try and just clear out a lot of this vision. With the amount of ultimates they have, they would have a fair amount of, full dive to go on to someone like Tristana and Azhi if they can catch them out.
Yeah, I feel like PSG is slightly under the gun to make plays, which means, unfortunately, that for viewership and the aggressive gameplay perspective, I think BDS is happy with this Maokai and double marksman to set up around objectives, poke them down, try and just burn through them. And if PSG are going to contest, you can really make a decision if you actually want to fight for it or not. You are absolutely happy, I think, to just kind of keep scaling until you get more major items onto your marksman, because right now there is no mythics completed across the board yet.
Well, there's that Rift Herald. Shelly going into that mid lane to, like we said, just kind of put pressure down. We'll get 2 plates. That will go straight over to JunJia, so not the worst thing in the world. The Jarvan, I have seen Jarvan's one-shot AD carries with their full combinations, so definitely something that can be done, and Dragon gets started. There is a TP here for Azhi, but there's none available for Adam. You have to remember that Labrov hasn't popped his ultimate just yet. There it goes. So now he's not going to have that available to him. It looks like BDS are going to have to be on full retreat. PSG did enough to pressure them away from this objective.
Yeah, Maple's chunk there is enough to buy them this Infernal Dragon. Sheo's sticking around. He's feeling himself with these smites.
Yeah, he's feeling it, but I don't know if he wants to. You do not have your support, and they will back that one away. So Adam will pick up a plate in the top side and the back side of it. So, Dragon apiece, 20k each. It's looking pretty close that we're going to be getting to some big 5v5s in about 5 or 6 minutes time.
Yeah, I think so. It totally makes sense for them to back off there, wait for their first major item completions, especially after Labrov is chunked out. For PSG, you're happy to have gotten that objective down, but of course you're looking more for kills at this point. And even that Rift Herald mid, it's nice to chunk out that mid turret, but realistically against a Tristana, how many times will you have shove from the Taliyah to actually walk up there and auto that turret? I much would have preferred if they could get that onto a more important carry from the perspective of team fighting or split pushing later on in the game here. So for BDS, yeah, it charged it down to 3 plates, but as long as Nuc is playing well, that thing will be relatively safe, and that's all they're going to get.
Also, I will say I was right. It's Cloud Soul. Dublin fresh air.
Ooh.
That's where we are. No chem smog of LA, you know.
They heard the complaint about being in Korea, playing at Lowell Park, and not getting enough Cloud Dragons, so they supported you.
Absolutely. I appreciate that from the script writers. That's very nice of them to do for me. But, I mean, we'll have to wait to see again, because PSG, they're taking this one slowly, but they're not coming out, you're not coming out on the worst end of these trades. It does feel like the fact that they were able to get that coal stacked up so quickly, that Wako has been able to have a little bit more freedom to build up to a first item, maybe even a second one, obviously very soon. But this is where the game starts to devolve into less about the laning phase and more about getting around these objectives.
Yes, how are you going to set up for them? Are you going to get chunked out before they go on? Will you find flanks in order to access the enemy backline? like we were saying, for the side of BDS, mostly front to back, except for Adam, who might be flanking and might not be there with his no teleport summoner. And with the Maokai saplings, you can often try and find Azhi and JunJia, who are trying to do that Narvin combo, stun your carries up against the wall. Hopefully a flick follows by Maple, and Wako is kind of that insurance policy to melt through the pretty beefy team comp of BDS.
And we saw there how even it was between the carries for the MasterCard lane economy snapshot. It really felt like that's exactly how the game has felt, honestly. It's just, kind of slightly topside favored for BDS, slightly bot side favored for PSG, and then in the middle, everyone's just kind of dotted around with a couple of hundred here or there. Now, Rift Herald number 2 has been started. You have a Stormraiser finish up here for Crownie. He's back out onto the map. 6,000 HP already taken down on top of this one, and Adam and Nuc are finally arriving.
Yep, gonna look like our first pure 5v5. Maple in the wing.
No 5v5 for you. Talia says no fighting. We will get ourselves back into the laning phase. Because the funny thing is, 15 and a half minutes gone. No tower's gone down yet.
No, and they're all relatively healthy. There's, I think, that most half down on the mid lane of BDS. Adam has gotten some chip down on top side. Everyone's gotten a little bit of chip, but not too much damage done to them. I saw Talia in the flank. I was hoping for a wall in.
Once that goes played, he'll get the stride breaker, gets a little bit of damage out, trying to get those stacks up, brings down the ult, and Adam was done with passiveness in this laning phase.
He heard you talking about there just going back to laning, and that was not what he wanted to do. Finds the angle right as Azhi's Mega Gnar wears out, and the Mini Gnar in tired form will never be able to get away from you. Ghosted up with the slow and hook back. Nice kill there by Adam, and exerting his presence on the game yet again. He came in as the most talked about player of BDS for his hyper carry, or not hyper carry, but his very aggressive carry playstyle.
Oh, Sheo just turned and burned onto that one. He was like, all right, we can take this fight. There's a Cataclysm. The knockback is good for JunJia. So I actually think he was in a bad situation there. As you can see, PSG realizing they were just going to lose a tower for free because they had no one to rotate.
Yeah, I think PSG getting a little antsy there. Jumping in, no real follow-up available. Maple was not quite in range for anything. Also going for the crown, interestingly enough. A little surprised to see that, given that there's not any significant burst damage that is going to come from the enemy team and can get knocked off quite easily from saplings if you're not careful.
That's what I was going to say. Like, surely the saplings, or even a Zeri laser, a stride breaker, like there's so many little things, or even an Alistair knock-up, can just knock it away. So we'll see how valuable or not it is later on into the game. But for the moment, PSG just waiting to see how they go for it. And this is Adam just being the Darius, being the god king of Noxus.
Yeah, coming from the river, there, finding that. I was stunned at how good that animation was.
That animation just so beautiful. Have you never seen that?
No, I don't pay attention to
this. They both turn into wolves, Garen and Darius in the God King skins.
Hoggers.
Yeah.
What? It is.
I've never met someone who speaks in Twitch chat IRL.
Really?
It's just because I'm Irish. Why would we speak in Twitch chat? We could just, It's just strange for me, that's all. Anyway, we can come back in. We can see that with the priority on bot side, BDS would not only get themselves the bot turret, but they'll also get themselves a second dragon. Doesn't mean that surely will knock over this turret in the mid lane. So PSG finally back on the front foot in terms of the objective trades and looking to try and make sure they're not just losing out around the map.
No, dead even in gold. Red team, Adam finished off his second turret, will put them back slightly ahead. Also grabbing the second dragon for BDS.
Adam's still going. Oh, no, he's not.
Well, teleport coming in from, looks like the Gnar, so at the very least getting that one out. Ooh, collapse all the way committed here. Maple not wanting to go.
I was going to say, though, they're not trying to get on top of Adam because they have to deal with the rest of BDS who are there to protect their top laner. No one goes down just yet, but I can see the pressure, the presence that both these teams want to have is starting to lead to a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, definitely the case, and you got to say this is one of those Talia games where you're not seeing the impact out of this champion quite yet. Maple has not been able to get to a side lane to try and attack anyone. He's used the wall strategically well sometimes to secure a free Rift Herald and these sorts of things, which they were able to use mid, but that's usually not quite enough. You need to find ways to bisect fights or create odd number of fights, and not quite happening yet, because if it's straight front to back damage, you got to think that Nuc will have him beat. Right now, Kraken Slayer completed, working on, looks like the quick blades.
And avoid quick blades out means you don't actually at all have to build any attack speed, really, because you just keep spamming Q. You'll get it back as soon as it's down, so do I want to go for right now? And again, it's not as if we haven't had action so far in this game. We really have, but it's just been so low scoring in terms of those kills because people are so afraid to kind of overcommit, to overexert themselves. And even Azhi in the top lane, yes, he got caught out and he died, but he could have maybe gone for a flash and a jump, and he just said, no, I'm dead. That's the end of it. And just kind of accepted his fate, knowing that the flash is more valuable later on. Now, PSG, they find themselves in enemy territory. Flash forward, though. Triple man knockup as JunJia gets punted right back into the arms of Adam. He does get the flag and drag away. Nice flick back as well from the Talia. Now Kai Ultimate does stop down Woody, and there is one more kill. BDS building back that momentum that they had from game number 4.
You can see PSG hunting in the jungle, looking for a play, but it's Labrov who turns it around when he sees them all grouped up. Adam was in the area. You're not quite sure where he's going to be without that teleport, but he had based and come back out to the top side, able to join in on that fight. They're still poking around here, but this is a 4v5. This is a 4v5, and
Smite comes out. So they get their prize at the end, PSG, but they're now down about 500 gold. And I love what Labrov did right there. He pretended, almost baited him out so much, saying, oh, I'm going to flash over the wall and this is going to lead to nothing. Flashes in and causes a huge amount of disarray here for PSG.
Yeah, you can see Adam just getting back on the map as this play is happening. So fortunately, all 5 members alive. Tristana teleporting in as well, trying to escape at this point, and the Stone's able to somewhat interrupt the chase down, but the Maokai route following up, locking down one member. Adam able to help clean that one up. Unfortunate that the kill does go over to Sheo at the end of that. Anyone else probably is going to use that better except for Labrov, so a little unfortunate, but hey, if you're Maokai, you're happy to get accelerated, get a little bit tankier earlier on.
Yeah, get yourself up to some kind of standing position to be a bit of a meat shield alongside this Alistair. So right now we can see that the advantage in that top side is starting to grow and grow. Already got a dead man's plate here for Adam. Maple looking to try and catch out Sheo. He's going to be able to kind of push him back out here. Flash away by Sheo, so no flash twisted advances available for him for at least another few minutes.
Nice timing on the Q flash while Maple is knocked up. You are flashing away, able to get out. I believe he might have practiced phase rush as well to skedaddle on out of there. Does, like you say, though, cost his flash. But it was Maple's ultimate as well that went down there. So now, PSG, good wards on the map. You can see they have a nice little box set up on the main jungle ramps around mid lane there to allow themselves to see any potential flanks coming from BDS as we head to this next dragon 1.5 minutes away.
Wako was so close to an Infinity Edge, I feel like he just really wants to get that last little thing. I think he's recalling for it now, so wait to see if he's able to come back out onto the map with that second item. It would be huge here for the side of PSG, and there it is. So 2 item Aphelios. He is starting to build towards that late game, and this isn't like game number 4 where the Aphelios was unable to really build items and have an impact. He's been given the resources, he's been given the time, and now he's starting to show the fruits of that labor.
Yeah, we'll see if he can get involved in these team fights. That is the biggest question, or if he's just going to be saplinged and then Maokai rooted as he tries to follow up on a front line.
Stride breaker.
They're just going to dive in. That's what the Gnar and the Jarvan want to do together, and of course Maple can maybe follow up, Woody can maybe follow up, and as Wako is the main damage dealer, the question is, can he get involved? Can he actually get this damage out? Or is BDS going to be able to peel back?
Lane has become the battleground. We're going into a little bit of an ARAM here for BDS, and this is the problem that they're going to find themselves in now, because Adam has not got teleport. He's very strong in a side lane, and with the Dead Man's Plate and the shrines from the Wind of the Cloud Soul, they should be able to get him between each lanes very quickly.
Yeah, and Adam is a master of this playstyle. He has been playing without teleport way more than people have been playing against someone without teleport. So he knows how to shove a wave, get it on the other enemy side of the map, group up with the rest of the team, allow it to push all the way back, be hiding in brushes that people aren't ready for, and as well, hopefully be able to get out safely when he is committing those pushes.
I would love to see a stat to whether or not Adam has played with teleport more or without teleport more, like in his career, because it's not that big of a career.
Yeah, it's two and a half years.
2.5 years, I think, like, you know, in terms of like in terms of the highest level, Worlds qualifying region level. Obviously, the LFL is a beast of its own, to be perfectly honest. But flash in, the apprehend, they found Wako, and he is dead. Nothing he could do. You can't cleanse and apprehend.
Nothing to go on there. They said, nice IE, bro, and immediately kill him. Adam finding the moment. We're just singing his praises on the Gods Champion.
Fight, though. No Maokai ultimate on this one. Actually, a lot of ultimates used in the last fight. Here we go. The Talia wall comes out to try and separate people out. They're going to be like fish in a barrel. The Gnar nowhere near getting up towards Mega. Not quite able to get himself the Labrov flick back, but they will be able to get themselves the Baron secured. Now, can Labrov get away from this without dying? No, he cannot. They lose one. Nuc going in a little bit aggressively. They do get him back on top of this one, and he is shut down. 2 kills to 1. The Baron does go over to BDS, but the Dragon will be traded back. It's a lot closer than they would have liked it for BDS.
It initially looked like such a slam dunk play out of BDS, being able to find that initial kill and instantly transfer it over to the Baron. They had the right decision, run forward, buy space, that there's no way for them to contest Sheo's smite. But then, instead of just leaving Labrov to die, Nuc just getting a little too crazy there, had his flash up, maybe thinking, hey, if I can get my E reset. I'm not quite sure if he got it or maybe he got interrupted after the Talia E, but here you see Adam, just the killer instinct. Labrov on the exact same page, annihilated. I don't even think the ult came down in time before you saw that kill. And then, again, the decision here, great. You force this, you have the split sort of by Maple, but like you called out, Gnar with no rage, there's no real way to actually fight this. Labrov is just there zoning with Adam. They finish this Baron off. Great, leave Labrov to die. All run left. This is totally fine. But Nuc jumping in here, and he was trying to get one more auto attack on JunJia, but JunJia flashed away. So instead of getting the second W right after that, he was able to get re-engaged on top of it and goes down.
The Red Bull Baron power play, it's only about 400 now. That's not exactly the highest you would want it. And the thing is that you're losing it onto Nuc. That's the big killer right there for me, because he was the teleport player. He's the one that could go off into a side lane and go for a 1-3-1. Labrov, that's a lot of damage. And they get the Moonlight Vigil landing onto Crownie on the backside of that one there. But again, you can see just how hard it is now for BDS to make this Baron push work, because unfortunately for them, the only one who has any pressure is going to be Adam.
Yeah, I was just initially thinking, okay, well, if you still have Adam, you can maybe set up this 4-1, but Labrov, again, stepping a little bit too far forward. We are in no man's land.
We are in
You look at the history of the goal differences over this series by AWS, you can see there have been quite a few, but usually it's at least sided one way. This time it is BDS slightly favored, able to grab this turret now. Up about 1,500 gold.
Oh, they're looking for Sheo here, because Azhi has got Mega Gnar coming, and that's why he had to flash away. No Dragon to be speaking of right now, so everyone's just kind of playing very antsy, very conservative about where they want to be caught out, because the dead timers, they're getting long, Mark.
Yeah, fortunately, even if Sheo did drop there, like you said, not much to grab on the map, but with a flash down, when the Dragon does spawn in 3 more minutes, that will still be down. So if you're able to get in there first, there's no flash smite contest available. And I gotta say, for the most part, BDS has done a very good job of finding windows where Azhi does not have his ultimate available when he's in mini-Gnar form. That first kill onto Adam, that Baron force right there. And so now even here, pushing with these Baron buff minions, Azhi's gonna need to try and stack this on the wave if they want to threaten some kind of engage here. And even then, JunJia's ult not quite up for another 15 or 20 seconds.
Well, Sheo gonna throw out Nature's Grasp, as they do catch out onto JunJia, who's able to tank it out, and that's gonna be the first of the tier 2s taken away. No real teleport position here. Crownie very isolated away from his team, and Maple might look to try and find him, or maybe he might look to try and find Maple. That's the big question. Come into this one here. It's only a 2,000 gold lead here for BDS as they get a decent amount off of that Baron play.
Definitely the case. Ending up grabbing 2 turrets up to a 2,000 gold lead for BDS. Looking at that Crown, I guess you can say one of the things it can do is stop the AD carries from jumping on you and murdering you, because that is always a potential with a Tristana. If she finds a good angle where you're isolated, she can annihilate you. Same with, honestly, Zeri. There's definitely plenty of certified Zeri moments that start with flashing in, popping your ult, queuing somebody, auto, annihilation.
And then annihilation.
Yeah, I don't know where it goes from there exactly, how many more autos
you know
you'll
what?
need.
There's not really a lot after annihilation, I'll be honest with you. Like, it's just kind of, that's just how it is.
Yeah. yeah. So either way, I think BDS is feeling very, very good about themselves right now. A lot of it also being how they're executing this game. PSG, despite being 3-5 in kills and having some moments, for the most part, when the important ones are coming up, it's all BDS who is able to make these plays happen.
And yes, here we are, 4 towers each, 2 dragons each, 2,000 gold ahead of BDS, which is kind of just a little bit of these extra CS numbers they've been able to improve for themselves. And This game is far from over, and with these items starting to be picked up, 3 items onto Crownie now. He's got himself that Runan's Hurricane. You're going to have the Lord Dominic's Regard finished up for Nuc very, very soon as well. This is where the game stops being about those advantages, stops being about those kind of moments, and really just depends on who plays better in those team fights.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Interesting to see Sheo there topping damage done, Red Smite Infernal, or excuse me, Demonic Embrace. Yeah, that combination. Demonic Infernal, same things, whatever.
They're both pretty terrible.
Yeah, demons. But either way, yeah, very impressive to see him topping the numbers, landing those saplings over and over again. And here, giving them, with those saplings, the space to be first ones to the Cloud Dragon, trying to get onto Soul Point. PSG showing up to contest. No one quite able to finish. It looks like there are 3 items. You're talking about Nuc trying to get there. Wako's in the same position. Oh, he's sold.
There it is.
There it is. Now
Shout
just
out
get
to
back
Raz
on the map.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Shout out to Raz. I feel like I've just called it out unnecessarily there.
People think there's more to it, but it's just that
no,
he says that.
he just says there it is a lot. It's very fun. But again, I feel like for PSG, you're not unhappy leaving this one alone. You can, if you don't feel confident, if you don't feel comfortable moving into this fight, you don't have to go for it.
Yeah, but Azhi needs to start stacking his passive right now. There's a Raptors behind him. He should be trying to hit those a little bit more to get this so that there's an actual threat.
I mean, he doesn't really need to kind of rush it right now, just because they're not going towards the Dragon. They're actually moving towards the Baron instead. There's the upper hand, but it's on the JunJia. Uses the Starbreaker, but Adam gets caught back a little bit on the backside of this. A lot of damage. It's a lot of rocks to the back of the head. Wako finishes him off, and Adam gets caught. You don't have an ultimate now on Labrov because he had to use his to make sure he stayed healthy, and now PSG, they've changed the momentum.
PSG taking down Adam with 200 years, gives them the early access to the Baron. We'll see if they can get in somehow for BDS.
Here we go, 6,000 HP. Sheo drops down the ultimate. He needs to get into the pit. He goes in! Not quite able to steal it. It goes over to PSG. Azhi goes into immediate stasis and flashes away because he's in Mininar. PSG get the kill, get the Baron, and they get the hell out.
PSG with a bit of robbery there. BDS trying to do the same thing that happened when they got the Baron, which is take the Dragon away from the enemy team. They are going to get there faster after PSG tried to reset. But it is still a 4v5. 10 seconds on Adam. He does not teleport to join in once it does happen. In fact, PSG just says, screw the Baron, or Dragon, excuse me. We're going to go start pushing these waves out topside, and they have mid push as well.
You have to make a decision here. Crownie going towards that top side. Labrov did come back in as well. Looks like they won't be able to get that top tier 2, but the inhibitor turret and mid lane is very, very exposed. There could be a big flank coming in. Sheo will have his ultimate very soon, but not quite just yet. Picks up the blue buff to maybe get a little bit of time and mana back on top of him. I think he knows that that's just a bridge a little too far.
It was a great idea seeing if PSG lost track of him after the Dragon take, thinking that he would reset back to base rather than come in through the jungle. Unfortunately, Wako did not quite step far enough forward to find that angle, but it was a clever idea. And it is becoming a little bit about Wako now. Seeing how much damage he can pump out. We were talking about his Aphelios being absolutely incredible this time around. He's getting his items. He's having a proper front line. And we talked about flubbed engages from PSG getting melted by double AD carry. Same thing is true on the other side.
Yeah.
Wako can delete front line if they have no one to peel back.
It's not even just Wako, because look at Maple as he pops down the Reaver's Wall, because he's got a death cap now. Yes, we kind of criticized the Crown of the Shadow Queen because it's very much a defensive item, but he's got damage now available to him alongside that Shadow Flame. So this is becoming harder and harder for BDS. We talked about it, how they were on the precipice of getting themselves a reverse sweep. They still had work to do, though.
If we've learned anything, though, about playing thus far, is don't count chickens before they hatch.
JunJia, half his HP there, just from a couple of auto attacks and a W from Nuc, and this is where everything starts to come down to decision making. Gold lead basically means nothing. BDS are on Soul Point, and there's another Dragon for at least another 3.5 minutes, so we'll have to wait and see. But again, this is just Adam thinking he had caught someone out, but it's JunJia. He's too tanky.
Yeah, you can see just this flick back sets everything up. The gun goes down to give tons of green procs to Wako. Combined with landing his ultimate gives him the final auto attack from 6 million units away to finish off Adam there and set down this chase. And looking at these fights, it's honestly probably not at all about backline access. I think realistically, even if Azhi is stacked up, he's not that far ahead of the game. Him and JunJia comboing together is probably going to get peeled if you just try to dive onto the backline. It's about more probably buying space for Wako. And you and Maple able to flip someone back, lock them in, and just provide a target for Wako to hit. That's safer to hit than it is for the double marksman of the enemy team to hit you.
Exactly, and I think the big thing I'm looking for BDS is that this kind of Adam walk forward and take someone out, it's just not going to work anymore. You're too far into the game. We're 33.5 minutes. Items are completed. People can just be a lot more brazen and bold to kind of find vision to capitalize on you overextended.
Yeah, the one time they found Wako, his one death this game, was when Adam actually could flash E, pull him in. And of course, that's always an option. You can always 100-0 anyone. Same thing's true on the flip side. If anyone's caught out of position from BDS, of course you can blow them up. But realistically, with how this game is going, it's a lot more about setup and protection.
How you're able to come back into these fights, and oh my days, you can see now the Baron is gone. The BDS are still being coerced backwards. It's a 4-item Zeri. Another fantastic Weaver's Wall just separates anyone out. Actually, I take that back. Actually stops the entirety of PSG from maybe going for a play, which is a little unfortunate, but the idea was there. Now Sheo on a little bit of a flank, maybe looking to try and go for something here. Here we go. Labrov goes in. They're going to try and burst out somebody here. The front line cannot stand tall as Azhi falls down first. BDS, they've lost a little bit, but have they got enough in the tank to get a little bit more? If they get JunJia here, it could be huge. But the smite comes down to slow down Adam and his pursuit.
That's exactly what we're talking about there. Good job by BDS pulling the trigger, stopping that push from coming in. They initially go onto JunJia with the pullback on Adam and then redirect onto Azhi, who had stepped forward to scoop people away, actually, but he was locked down in place.
Oh, Adam, I don't think he knows anyone's coming up here. I don't think he knows that everybody is here. And now he's going to get jumped on, flicked back, CC'd into oblivion.
No,
but he's not got Wako, so he's not getting taken down. The apprehend comes back in.
There
the Cataclysm is down. Finally, the DPS is here, but now Nuc and Crownie, they don't feel confident to walk forward onto this. I genuinely feel they needed to kind of really commit to that, because it just feels like they're losing a slow burning death.
I felt Adam also maybe could have flashed out. They did not have the damage without Wako there to punch through him. You can see how important he is to have him around. But here's this fight yet again. The initial combo onto JunJia, as well as a nice headbutt pulse combo, focuses Azhi down on healing back for Wako. But fortunately, with the Alistar ult on, there's not that much damage that Wako can pump back. It's this long chase down sequence. Baron's not up yet. They had nothing to really capitalize on, so they instead focus on clearing minions. And Adam caught out here. You can see, though, not taking that much damage if there's no big Aphelios to hit him down with. And so here, trying to stick around, trying to do the Darius heal up, land these massive Qs that bring you back up to full health. But Wako showed up before then.
Wako's got himself a GA now, so Flash Cleanse, GA, and all the kite in the world. PSG will get them onto Soul Point with this one. We are having, at minimum, 6 dragons, maybe 7 if we get that far, but this game could not be closer.
We were joking about it in game 1. Where we get the 7 dragons. I think we're getting it this time. We might see 8 if it comes down to an Elder. Baron is up, though, and you can already see BDS is primed to burn this one down.
Lady
Maple,
carry.
a little late in base, going to have to teleport in. Does still have the ultimate available and just finish off his Void Staff.
They're starting it, and that's going to burn down so quickly. JunJia has to get on top of this. There's a Cataclysm, but JunJia can't join back on top of this one. Flash away by Adam as the Baron goes down. Perfectly done by BDS, but can they get anything else? Labrov on the flank, looking for a little bit more, but just gets stunned right off the W of the Talia. They have to reset, though. Super Minions are pushing in the bot side. It's a good move from BDS, but it can turn into a terrible one if they don't get out alive.
We'll have to see if they can get a clean recall off here. One is out in Crownie, but the rest are being chased down.
Oh, nice punt backwards. The flash in with the Magnet Storm. They're going to jump down onto Adam. Getting out with only 1 death would be very nice indeed. Azhi trying to move forward on top of this. Does get the ultimate down on top of Sheo. That's another staggered death timer. As you can see, Crownie was the one to deal with the super minions. Now Labrov trying to just be the hero for his team as he gets taken out. It took too long for them to clear out their waves, and it meant that 3 members of BDS are dead.
3 members dead, only the carries left alive, but no minion waves for PSG, and Crownie knowing he wants to get this shoving so that they have no way to end the game because it's long death timers. It's 30 seconds. If they don't clear these waves out,
be fine.
PSG will escort some in. And so BDS do what they need to do. They clear these waves out and then use the empowered recall to get back safely. Still, though, there is a wave in 20 seconds. They're at least going to get some inhibitors here, most likely for PSG.
I would imagine they will at least get 1. Couple of people coming back in about 15 seconds or so. They might try it. They don't have minions. And they will be cleared out fairly quickly, so I don't think they're going to be able to end, but that's 2 inhibitors down. This Red Bull Baron power play will be for naught at the moment. And I almost want a live cam on Medic to see how he's doing, because this man is probably going through the ringer right now.
I bet a lot of EU fans are on their feet pacing and screaming at their monitors, but here, I love the call. Burn the Baron down, get out, and get back to your base. If you don't do that and you let the super creeps push, you don't have Adams who can deal with the wave and then teleport in. So you go, let's go flip the Baron. If we get the Baron, we get out and we deal with the wave later. Whereas if you deal with the wave first, it's a free Baron to PSG. So you at least get to take this away. And at best, you're hoping to just cost Adams' life. But the chase down sequence here was so good for PSG that they could clear out 3 members. And we still, at the tail end of that, it's a 1,000-ish goal lead for PSG.
Not even. It's insane. The Dragon Soul will be confirmed in 2 minutes, 20 seconds. It is 39 minutes. Game 5. Win and you go to Swiss. Lose and your season, your year, your entire being is done for a while. The win probability powered by AWS, they don't even know. Look at the way he's jumping up and down. What's going on in this game?
It's a heart rate monitor looking at that thing. And like you said here, anything can happen from this point on. It is, I would say, PSG favored, not just because the gold lead, not just because they have...
Gold lead is not a gold lead.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not the important thing. It is the map pressure that they have with double inhibitors down, meaning that these are super creeps spawning in. Right now, you know, BDS is doing a perfectly good job clearing them out because they have the Baron buff. That's about to time out just now, and that's still a minute and a half before the next Dragon spawns. And so once those super creeps are no longer bumping up against Baron creeps, PSG will be able to grab map control back most likely.
Take a breath. Woo. Take a breather.
Shake it out. Shake your hands.
Left foot, right foot. Do the hanky-panky. The hokey-pokey, not the hanky-panky. slightly different.
Different context.
different thing. Get a little bit loopy. PSG kind of rewarded by the fact that they have got so many standing towers for the moment. Nuc coming down to this bot side, clearing out another wave. This is the thing with double AD carries, you can control these waves so easily.
And we talk about map mobility and we're looking at Talia's ultimate, but honestly, being able to ride walls and hop over them with Nuc actually gives them a lot more access to these minions. And so they're doing a great job not letting PSG really get that much map control. Here, PSG has decided to shove in mid-wave and trying to escort this one in, but you can still see Crownie melts these if you let him have access to auto-attacking.
That's the thing. Once he's on single target on that super minion, he's not going to be in any way danger of kind of getting caught. Now Woody galloping towards this dragon. 30 seconds of spawns. Gold dead even. I don't know. Do BDS want to fight this? I feel like they have to. You can't just let this one go. You're not going to have many more opportunities to have a straight 5v5 that's not in your base.
No, I absolutely think that you try and step forward and contest this one here.
Wait to see where they want to go. For now, there is a good little flank here for Labrov. He's found himself the fog of war. The super minions have been dealt with for the moment. They will destroy this dragon so quick. PSG, 5-man strong. Labrov moving in to try and find some kind of a flank. He has been spotted by Maple and immediately has to go into his ultimate. JunJia's in the pit and now they have to try and burn down this dragon before he can. No, Soul confirmed for BDS. Now they got this Moonlight Vigil completely whiffing. JunJia has to flash away and he stays alive. The objective was confirmed, but that only stems the bleeding because they've got to deal with these waves.
Still absolutely huge play by BDS there. So well done. Labrov called out. I was worried that the Alistar ultimate was going to cost them the situation, but the focus of the double marksman to burn that down forced JunJia to commit to it. Allowed them to grab Soul and have enough control now that these super creeps are being dealt with quite easily by the late game double marksman.
I want to reiterate it. I said it in the last game, and it was just said in my ear again. BDS have only lost with Soul once this year. So they have got a pretty high win rate when they have Soul. Yes, it is not the most impactful in the world, but you think about the things that you can do with extra movement speed when Sheo drops his ult, when the Alistar drops his. There's so much playmaking ability. Yeah, Woody and Maple, they needed to leave very, very quickly. These inhibitors will be respawning very soon as well. No more super minions in top or bot. Or sorry, mid or bot.
I will say most games where you get a Soul, it's not quite this close, but I feel like the advantage might have swung back to BDS.
We got bot lane still with 1 super minion, so that's going to push in and give pressure. Baron spawning in 4 seconds. You will have to try and make this as quick as you possibly can. Labrov has been a hero for his side so far in this series, in this entire tournament. Can he get one more big play? He's looking for it. He may be able to hex flash over the wall. Woody might be the target. Labrov does kind of get spotted out a little bit. Now you can see the lightning crash comes down. JunJia goes completely hayward. Azhi is dead, and now the reset can come in. Wako needs to run away, but he's sliding down. He has a stopwatch, but he's on so little HP. BDS are doing it. BDS are killing them. And BDS will complete it! Quadra kill for Nuc! Be damned your curses! Be damned your expectations! BDS are going to Swiss!
They've done it! The reverse sweep by BDS! The redemption from falling at the hands of Mad Lions in Spring Split, able to make the main stage of Worlds!
There has only been 2 previous reverse sweeps at Worlds. This will be the 3rd, and it will be the 1st for LEC. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and BDS